Hey y'all, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. When you see this video, it's probably going to be in the new year, so happy new year to you already, and I hope you have had a wonderful one. Um, but my name is Tamika Collins, and this here is my YouTube channel, and on here we are reading the Bible. Sorry, I had to clean my specs. From Genesis to Revelations. Genesis to Revelation. Beginning to the end. And we are in, I wasn't prepared. We are in Joshua, the 8th chapter now. And you know we recap, so let's recap. So we read 5 through 7. So chapter 5, Israel reestablishes covenant ceremonies, and the Lord's commander confronts Joshua and tells him, the Lord's angel confronts Joshua and tells him what God is going to have him do. Chapter 6 is the fall of Jericho to march around the city they are to march around the city for once a day for 6 days. And on the 7th day, they're going to march around 7 times. And then when God tells them to shout, the walls will come down. Amen. All right. And chapter 7 also is Ai defeating the Israelites because Achan from the tribe of Judah has coveted some items that were to be destroyed and or given to God. God has let Joshua know that there has been some trouble in the camp, some mischievousness in the camp, and why they were defeated, and that he is going to do process of elimination. That's what I called it, process of elimination, because he called everybody together, and then he called them out by tribe, and then he called them out by family, then he called them out by person. All right, he is going to do process of elimination, and the culprit is found, and as a result, God has them stoned and burned. And now we are in chapter 8, y'all. I know some people don't like to hear about all this about the Lord, and his judgment. But y'all, that's what's gonna happen when he comes. Oh my gosh. Lord, I want to be ready. Jesus, I want to be ready. And I don't want to be caught with my work and done. I do not. So 2024, I'm going to definitely be about my Father's business. I'm gonna be about his business. I'm going to try to be on my P's and Q's and keep it moving, staying humble, staying in my lane. But I'm going to be about his business. Okay, because we got work to do. We have got work to do. We are falling short, and we have got work to do. And that's why we're here, because we got work to do. All right, the Israelites defeat Ai, or Aya, or whatever. Ain't that funny? AI. And what's the new stuff called? AI. Whew, I tell you, there's nothing new under the sun. This is the living word. There is nothing new under the sun. Even the enemy know. This word is breathing daily, minutely, secondly, hourly, monthly, yearly, centrally, millionly, all them little lees. Anyway, then the Lord said to Joshua, "Do not be afraid or discouraged. Take all your fighting men and attack Ai, for I have given you the king Ai as his people, his town, and his land. You will destroy them as you destroyed Jericho and its king. But this time you may keep the plunder and the livestock for yourselves. Set an ambush behind the town." So Joshua and all the fighting men set out to attack Ai. Joshua chose 30,000 of his best warriors and sent them out at night with these orders: hide in the ambush close behind the town and be ready for action. When our main army attacks, the men of Ai will come out to fight as they did before, and we will run away from them. We will let them chase us until we have drawn them away from their town. For they will say, the Israelites are running away from us like they did before. Then, while we are running from them, you will jump up with your ambush and take possession of the town. For the Lord your God will give it to you. Set the town on fire as the Lord has commanded. You have your orders. So they left and went to the place of ambush between Bethel and the west side of Ai. But Joshua remained among the people in the camp. That night, early in the morning, Joshua roused his men and started toward Ai, accompanied by the elders of Israel. All the fighting men who were with Joshua marched in front of the town and camped on the north side of Ai, with a valley between them and the town. That night, Joshua set about 5,000 men to lie in the ambush between Bethel and Ai on the west side of the town. So they stationed the main army north of the town and the ambush west of the town. Joshua himself spent that night in the valley. When the king of Ai saw the Israelites across the valley, he and his army hurried out early in the morning and attacked the Israelites at a place overlooking the Jordan Valley. But he didn't realize there was an ambush behind the town. Joshua and the Israelite army fled toward the wilderness, though they were badly beaten. Then all the men in the town were called out to chase after them. In this way, they were lured away from the town. There was not a man left in Ai or Bethel who did not chase after the Israelites, and the town was left wide open. Then the Lord said to Joshua, point the spear in your hand toward Ai, for I will hand the town over to you. Joshua did as he was commanded. As soon as Joshua gave the signal, all the men in the ambush jumped up from the position and poured into the town. They quickly captured it and set it on fire. When the men of Ai looked behind them, smoke from the town was filling the sky, and they had nowhere to go. For the Israelites who had fled in the direction of the wilderness had now turned into their pursuers. When Joshua and all the other Israelites saw that the ambush had succeeded and that the smoke was rising from the town, they turned and attacked the men of Ai. Meanwhile, the Israelites who were inside the town came out and attacked the enemy from the rear. So the men of Ai were caught in the middle with the Israelite fighters on both sides. Israel attacked them, and not one single person survived or escaped. Only the king of Ai was taken alive and brought to Joshua. When the Israelite army, y'all like my jewelry? My daughter gave it to me, some of it that she gave me for Christmas. She lavishes me. I love it. So the men of Ai were caught in the middle with the Israelite fighters fighting on both sides. Israel attacked them, and not one single person survived or escaped. Only the king of Ai was taken alive and brought to Joshua. When the Israelite army finished chasing and killing all the men of Ai in the open fields, they went back and finished off everyone inside. So the entire population of Ai, including men and women, was wiped out that day, 12,000 in all. For Joshua kept holding out his spear until everyone who had lived in Ai was completely destroyed. Only the livestock and the treasures of the town were not destroyed, for the Israelites kept these as a plunder for themselves, as the Lord had commanded to Joshua. So Joshua burned the town of Ai, and it became a permanent mound of ruins, desolate to this very day. Joshua impaled the king of Ai on a sharpened pole and left him there until evening. At sunset, the Israelites took down the body as Joshua commanded and threw it in front of the town gate. They piled a great heap of stones over him that can still be seen to this very day. Then Joshua built an altar to the Lord, the God of Israel, on Mount Ebal. He followed the commands that Moses, the Lord's servant, had written in the book of instruction. Make me an altar from stones that are uncut and have not been shaped with iron tools, because God is the master builder and He is the master creator. So He didn't want them to be messing with nothing. He put it up there like it is. I made it perfect. Yes, He did. Then on the altar, they presented burnt offerings and peace offerings to the Lord. And as the Israelites watched, Joshua copied onto the stones of the altar the instructions Moses had given him. Then all the Israelites, foreigners and native born alike, along with the elders, officers, and judges, were divided into two groups. One group stood in front of Mount Gerizim, the other in front of Mount Ebal. Each group faced each other, and between them stood the Levitical priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord's covenant. This was all done according to the commands that Moses, the servant of the Lord, had previously given for blessing the people of Israel. Joshua then read to them all the blessings and curses Moses had written down in the book of instruction. Every word of every command that Moses had ever given was read in the entire assembly of Israel, including the women and children and the foreigners who lived among them. Chapter 9. Joshua attacks the southern kings. The Gibeonites deceive Israel. Now all the kings west of the Jordan River heard about what had happened. These were the kings of the Hittites, Amorites, Canaanites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites, who lived in the hill country, in the western foothills, and along the coast of the Mediterranean Sea, as far as north of the Lebanon mountains. These kings combined their armies to fight as one against Joshua and the Israelites. And when the people of Gibeon heard that what Joshua had done to Jericho and Ai, they resorted to deception to save themselves. They sent ambassadors to Joshua, loading their donkeys with weathered saddlebags and old patched wineskins. They put on worn-out patched sandals and ragged clothes, and the bread they took with them was dry and moldy. When they arrived at the camp of Israel at Gilgal, they told Joshua, "The men of Israel, we have come from a distant land to ask you to make peace treaty with us." The Israelites replied to the Hivites, "How do we know you don't live nearby? For if you do, we cannot make a treaty with you." They replied, "We are your servants." "But who are you?" Joshua demanded. "Where did you come from?" They answered, "Your servants have come from a very distant country. We have heard of the might of the Lord your God and all he had did in Egypt. We have also heard what he did to the two Amorite kings east of Jordan River, King Sihon of Heshbon and King Og of Bashan, who lived in Asaroth. So our elders and all our people instructed us, take supplies for a long journey, go meet with the people of Israel and tell them, we are your servants. Please make a treaty with us. This bread was not hot from the ovens when we left our homes, but now, as you can see, it is dry and moldy. Oh, this bread was hot from the ovens when we left our homes, but now you can see it is dry and moldy. These wineskins were new when we filled them, but now they are old and split open. Our clothing and sandals are worn out from very long journey. So the Israelites examined their food, but they did not consult the Lord. We got to consult the Lord. Lord, I repent. Please forgive me. Then Joshua made a peace treaty with them and guaranteed their safety, and the leaders of the community ratified their agreement with a binding oath. We got to keep our promise. We're supposed to keep our promise. 3 days after the treaty, they learned that these people actually lived nearby. 3 days after. 3 days. They're 3 days, y'all. The names of these towns were Gibeon, Kephirah, Beeroth, and Kiriath Jearim. But the Israelites did not attack the towns, for the Israelite leaders had made a vow to come to them in the name of the Lord, the God of Israel. The people of Israel grumbled against their leaders because of the treaty, but the leaders replied, "Since we have sworn our oath in the presence of the Lord, the God of Israel, we cannot touch them. This is what we must do. We must let them live, for divine anger would come upon us if we broke our oath. Let them live." So they made them woodcutters and water carriers for the entire community, as the Israelites leaders directed. Joshua called together the Gibeonites and said, "Why did you lie to us? Why did you say that you live in a distant land when you live right here among us? May you be cursed. From now on, you will always be servants who cut wood and carry water for the house of my God." They replied, "We did it because your servants, were clearly told that the Lord your God commanded his servant Moses to give you this entire land and to destroy all the people living in it. So we feared greatly for our lives because of you. That is why we have done this. Now we are at your mercy. Do to us whatever you think is right." So Joshua did not allow the people of Israel to kill them, but that day he made the Gibeonites the woodcutters and water carriers for the community of Israel and for the altar of the Lord, wherever the Lord would choose to build it. But, that is what they do till this day. Let's see if we can read chapter 10. See how long it is. It's pretty long. I think we can do it though. Chapter 10. I'm trying to see how long this book is. Got 24 chapters in this. Okay. Israel defeats the southern armies. Adoni-Zedek, king of Jerusalem, heard that Joshua had captured and completely destroyed Ai and killed his king, just as he had destroyed the town of Jericho and killed its king. He also learned that the Gibeonites had made peace with Israel and were now their allies. He and his people became very afraid when they heard all of this, because Gibeon was a large town, as large as the royal cities and larger than Ai, and the Gibeonite men were strong warriors. So King Adoni-Zedek of Jerusalem sent messengers to several other kings: Haman of Hebron, Piram of Jarmuth, Zaphiah of Lachish, and Deber of Eglon. "Come and help me destroy Gibeon," he urged them, "for they have made peace with Joshua and the people of Israel." So these 5 Amorite kings combined their armies for an united attack. They moved all their troops into place and attacked Gibeon. The men of Gibeon quickly sent messengers to Joshua at his camp in Gilgal. "Don't abandon us, your servants, now," they pleaded. "Come at once, save us, help us, for all the Amorite kings who live in the hill country have joined forces to attack us." So Joshua and his entire army, including his best warriors, left Gilgal and set out for Gibeon. "Do not be afraid of them," the Lord said to Joshua, "for I have given you victory over them. Not a single one of them will be able to stand up against you." Joshua traveled all night from Gilgal and took the Amorite armies by surprise. The Lord threw them into panic, and the Israelites slaughtered great numbers of them at Gibeon. Then the Israelites chased the enemy along the road of Beth Horon, killing them along the way to Azekah and Makkedah. As the Amorites retreated down the road from Betharon, the Lord destroyed them with a terrible hailstorm from the heaven that continued until they reached Azekah. The hail killed more of the enemy than the Israelites killed with the sword. On the day, there must be some heavy hail, some big hail. On the day of the Lord, well, they stoned people, so I'm sure that the ice was just as hard. On the day of the Lord, you ever got hit with with some ice? I'm sorry, I just thought about that. We ain't had no snow yet here, so we ain't had no snowballs. But you ever got hit with a hard snowball? Woo! That thing hurt. On the day the Lord gave the Israelites victory over the Amorites, Joshua prayed to the Lord in front of all the people of Israel. He said, "Let the sun stand still for Gibeon, and the moon over the valley of Ajalon." Oh, this is that story. So the moon stood still, and so the sun stood still, and the moon stayed in place until the nation of Israel had defeated its enemies. Is this event not recorded in the book of Jashar? The sun stayed in the middle of the sky, and it did not set as a normal day. There has never been a day like that, this one before or since. Then the Lord answered such a prayer. Surely the Lord fought for Israel that day. Then Joshua and the Israelites' army returned to their camp of Gilgal. During the battle, the 5 kings escaped and hid in a cave of Makkedah. When Joshua heard that they had been found, he issued this command: cover the opening of the cave with large rocks and place guards at the entrance to keep the kings inside. The rest of you continue chasing the enemy and cut them down from the rear. Don't give them a chance to get back to their towns, for the Lord your God has given you victory over them. So Joshua and the Israelite army continued to slaughter and completely crush the enemy. They totally wiped out the 5 enemies, except for a tiny remnant that managed to reach their fortified towns. Then the Israelites returned safely to Joshua in the camp of Makkedah. After that, no one dared to speak even a word against Israel. Then Joshua said, "Remove the rocks covering the opening of the caves and bring out the 5 kings to me." So they brought the 5 kings out of the cave, the kings of Jerusalem, Hebron, Jarmuth, Lachish, and Eglon. When they brought them out, Joshua told the commanders of his army, "Come and put your feet on the king's necks." And they did as they were told. "Don't ever be afraid or discouraged," Joshua told his men. "Be strong and courageous, for the Lord is going to do this to all of your enemies." Then Joshua killed each of the 5 kings and impaled them on 5 sharpened poles, where they hung until evening. As the sun was going down, Joshua gave instructions for the bodies of the kings to be taken down from the poles and thrown into the cave where they had been hiding. Then they covered the opening of the cave with a pile of large rocks, which remains to this day. That same day, Joshua captured and destroyed the town of Makkedah. He killed everyone in it, including the king, leaving no survivors. He destroyed them all, and he killed the king of Makkedah as he had killed the king of Jericho. Then Joshua and the Israelites went to Libnah and attacked it. There, too, the Lord gave them the town and its king. He killed everyone in it, leaving no survivors. Then Joshua killed the king of Libnah as he had killed the king of Jericho. From Libnah, Joshua and the Israelites went to Lachish and attacked it. Here again, the Lord gave them Lachish. Joshua took it on the 2nd day and killed everyone in it, just as he had done at Libnah. During the attack on Lachish, King Hiram of Jazer arrived with his army to help defend the town. But Joshua's men killed him and his army, leaving no survivors. Then Joshua and the Israelites' army went on to Eglon and attacked it. They captured it that day and killed everyone in it. He completely destroyed everyone, just as he had done at Lachish. From Eglon, Joshua and the Israelites' army went up to Hebron and attacked it. They captured the town and killed everyone in it, including its king, leaving no survivors. They did the same thing to all the surrounding villages, and just as he had done at Eglon, he completely destroyed the entire population. Then Joshua and the Israelites turned back and attacked Debir. He captured the town, its kings, and all of its surrounding villages. He completely destroyed everyone in it, leaving no survivors. He did to Debir and its king, just as he had done to Hebron and Lebna and its king. So Joshua conquered the whole region, the kings, and the people of the hill country, the Negev, the western foothills, and the mountain slopes. He completely destroyed everyone in the land, leaving no survivors, just as the Lord, the God of Israel, had commanded. Joshua slaughtered them from Kadesh Barnea to Gaza, and from the region around the town of Goshen up to Gibeon. Joshua conquered all these kings and their land in a single campaign. For the Lord, the God of Israel, was fighting for his people. Then Joshua and the Israelite army returned to their camp at Gilgal. Y'all, that is why it is important to have leaders. Yes, because we have to have someone that's listening to the Lord. Not only that, though, we should be studying to show ourselves approved also, because guess what? Our leaders need our help too. They are only human just like we are, and they need our prayers, because everybody that's following our leaders ain't following our leaders. They following for clout, or they're following for just to be a part, or they're following to see the demise, the destruction of people. You know, you got them people that be sitting there looking at every move you make, waiting for you to fall, waiting for you to do something so they can be like, see, I told you. But was you praying for me though? Was you thinking about me though? Yes, I did, you know what I'm saying? And yes, whatever. But what was your part in this? You know what I'm saying? Like, we all need prayer. Every one of us need prayer. We are not exempt from anything, ever. Anyway, let's pray for our leaders. Let's pray for us. Let's pray that we continue to walk with God in 2024. Let's be about our Father's business. That was one of my cousin's message. Let's be about our Father's business. That's what we're supposed to be for anyway. We're supposed to be about our Father's business anyway. Time is winding up. We have been saying it forever. But like I said, one day is 1,000 to God. So it's winding up. He is time. He is the timer, the time giver. We don't have no time. We don't own no time. We can't get back. Not never rewind. Because if I could, then I would. But I can't. So I ain't. And I can't. I love y'all. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope 2024 be everything that you need it to be. All that good stuff. All the blessings of the Lord be upon you and your family, your friends, even your enemies. They need some love and some saving too. We all need it. Jesus came. God wants none of us exempt. He has none of us exempt. Black, white, brown, yellow, purple, green, all of us are welcome in his kingdom. We all have a soul. And guess what? I don't know what color our soul is, but it's one color, I'm sure. I'm sure. Just like our blood is red. We got blue veins, we got purple veins, we got green veins, all that stuff. But when we bleed red. The blood that gives us strength. Hey, that's a whole nother. Ooh, this is a message, Jesus. The blood. When he see the blood, let him see the blood. Okay? I love you. My name is Tamika. Thank you so much for rocking with me. We'll see you next time. And we're going to be in Joshua 11. I love you. Have a good day. Have a good morning, afternoon, evening, nighttime, and the midnight hour. Love you. Bye.